To the world, 12-year-old Lindsey Swan seemed to have it all. She was a star student, a gifted performer, and a fierce friend. But her private journal told a different story, one of a secret pain that would tragically lead to her death. Her final entry will haunt you. Lindsey Swan was the kind of person who just lit up a room. Born on July 23rd, 2013, and raised in Huntsville, Alabama. She was known by her family as Sweet Pea, or Stitch. As a 7th grader at Mountain Gap Middle School, her talents went far beyond the classroom. She was a standout academically, even earning an invitation to the girls' engaged in math and science team, a program for the brightest young minds. But it wasn't just in her studies where she shone. Lindsey had a creative spirit that felt right at home on the stage. She was an active member of the school choir and a performer with the children's theater group, Around the Curtain. When she passed, she was excitedly rehearsing for the role of a lioness in a production of The Lion King. Her energy was boundless. You could find her playing volleyball, practicing gymnastics, or just dancing. She was a girl in constant motion, whether she was hiking, riding her scooter, or just enjoying the quiet beauty of a sunset. Those who knew her best remember a girl with a huge heart and a contagious laugh. She was a loyal friend and a fierce protector of her siblings. More than once, she stood up to bullies for others, a small act that showed her deeply compassionate nature. She loved animals, gaming, and trips to the beach, soaking up all the joys she could. Her family, her mother Brittany, her stepfather Jason, her siblings and grandparents were her world. Outwardly, Lindsey was a happy, thriving 12-year-old with a bright future. But behind that radiant smile, a deep and silent pain was taking hold. Every life has its shadows, and Lindsey was no exception. About 4 years before her death, she suffered a devastating loss. Her father, Joseph Lafferty, passed away. Losing a parent at such a young age leaves a scar, and for Lindsey, it was a source of deep heartache. This private grief was then twisted into a public torment. At school, some classmates bullied her, cruelly mocking the death of her father. Each time was like a fresh wound, a constant reminder of the void he left. Lindsey was a giver. Her mother, Brittany, remembered how she always checked on others, offering a smile or a comforting word, even when she was the one struggling. She had an incredible ability to mask her own pain, to put on a brave face for the world while her inner turmoil was growing. She was carrying a burden no 12-year-old should ever have to, and she was doing it almost completely alone. In the months leading up to her death, that weight became unbearable. She started confiding in a few class friends, telling them she was thinking about taking herself out. For a child, hearing a confession like that is terrifying, unsure what to do, and maybe afraid of betraying her trust or not being taken seriously. Her friends kept her secret. They didn't tell a parent, a teacher, or another trusted adult. It was a desperate cry for help that went unanswered. Not because of malice, but because of fear and confusion. On February 17th, 2026, Lindsey Swan died by taking her own life. She was just 12 years old. As her family navigated the shattered world she left behind, they found her journal, and in its pages, they found her last message. It wasn't a long goodbye. It was a short, simple, and utterly heartbreaking plea. She wrote, "It's too late for me. Please talk to someone, even if they act or look okay. They might make it because of you." Those words are a gut punch. They show a young girl who, even in her darkest moment, was thinking about how to save others. She understood, with a chilling clarity, that her own battle was lost, but she desperately wanted to keep anyone else from feeling that same despair. It's a message born from incredible pain, but also from incredible empathy. In her final moments, she wasn't angry. She wasn't placing blame. She was trying to save someone else. she was still being the protector, the friend who stood up for others. She used her last breath to sound an alarm she hoped would echo far beyond her journal. In the face of unimaginable loss, Lindsay's family made a brave choice. Instead of disappearing into their grief, they decided to amplify their daughter's last words. They shared her journal entry, hoping to turn their tragedy into a catalyst for change. Their mission became advocating for mental health awareness and take yourself out prevention. Her stepbrother Jason Booth spoke with raw honesty, urging communities to remove the shame surrounding conversations about wanting to take yourself out. If you see something, say something, he pleaded. It's a simple phrase. Heavy with his family's experience, they stressed how important it is to recognize warning signs, which can be subtle, like kids using slang like self-canceling when talking about self-harm. The family spoke directly to friends, peers, and bystanders. They understood the fear of being called a tattletale or losing a friend, but they stressed that a friend's life is worth so much more than a secret. That one awkward conversation with an adult can be a lifeline. Lindsay's mother, Brittany, spoke of the mask her daughter wore, the smile that hid her pain while she was busy comforting everyone else. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the people who seem the strongest are the ones struggling the most. Their message is clear. Silence can be fatal, but speaking up can save a life. Lindsay's story sent shockwaves through the Huntsville community and far beyond. On February 22nd, 2026, family and friends gathered for her funeral at Legacy Chapel Funeral Home. It was a day of profound sadness, but also a celebration of life that was so full of love and light. In the wake of her death, local schools began providing grief counseling and mental health resources. The tragedy forced a necessary public conversation about the mental health crisis facing young people today. Lindsay's story gave a face to this crisis. It made the numbers, personnel, immediate and impossible to ignore. This is especially true in Alabama, which has one of the highest take yourself out rates in the nation. Data from the Alabama Department of Health has shown that nearly 1 in 12 high school students in the state has reported to attempt to take their own life. These aren't just statistics, they are children like Lindsay, struggling in silence in our schools and communities. News coverage of her death consistently shared resources like the 988 Take Yourself Out and Crisis Lifeline, turning a story of loss into a source of help for others. Lindsay's legacy isn't defined by her death, but by the action it continues to inspire. Her family's courage, combined with her own haunting, powerful last words, started a movement. Her legacy is in every parent who checks in on their child, every friend who tells a trusted adult, and every teacher who notices a student is struggling. Lindsay's final wish was for others to make it. Through her story, she is still working to make that happen. Lindsay's story is heartbreaking but vital reminder that we all have a role to play in mental health awareness. If her story moved you, please subscribe for more true crime content that honors victims and raises awareness. In the comments below, let me know your thoughts on how as a community can better support young people who are struggling. Lindsey Swan was a daughter, a sister, and a friend. She was a performer, a scholar, and a protector. She was a bright, shining light who felt consumed by a darkness most people couldn't see. Her story is a tragedy, but it's also a powerful call to action. It forces us to confront the reality that even the brightest smiles can have the deepest pain. Her final journal entry is a haunting echo from a life cut short. A plea for all of us to do better, to look closer, listen harder, and speak up. Because as Lindsay knew, you might just save a life. It was too late for her, but because of her story, it might not be too late for someone else.